should have asked who's hosting. I guess I'll host. I was already in the mood. I know, Christian, you just got home, so it's okay. How's it going, everyone? Welcome to another episode of the Stoppage Time Stooges podcast. Andrew, Christian, Ricardo, Jacob, the whole gang's here. How are we all doing?
Pretty good. How you doing?
Hey, whoa! That's the first time someone's asked that to me.
Oh no, I've done it before. Come on now.
Oh wow! Oh.
I didn't think we were that bad, but maybe we are.
Hey, Ricardo, I appreciate you. I'm well.
All right, good.
What's Jacob's word of the week?
Ambivalent.
Oh,
all right.
I like that.
Oh, creative.
On the eve.
I looked it up 2 seconds ago.
I love it. Oh, I love it. He was on top of it. He was ready.
I completely forgot. I'm like, oh crap! I have to think of it.
No, but you may have stumbled to the finish line, but you got there. And no one else noticed until you said it. So I think that was a pretty good acting job. So congrats to you on that. Speaking of acting jobs, we just got done with match day 2 of the UEFA Champions League. Talk about the weirdest table you'll ever see. I'm kind of in love with this league phase, but I also hate it because of what Real Madrid is going through. But as a pure footy fan, the league phase has brought some chaos, and I appreciate that the most. So what we did last time was, instead of going through every single match, because that takes a while, especially for an expanded Champions League now, we started with match day 1 going through one result or event that surprised us for match day 2, and for match day 1. Now we're gonna do that again for match day 2. So let's go clockwise here. We'll start with Christian, make our way around back to me.
There's a good couple of options here, but I think I'm going to go with Juventus.
Damn.
Yeah, I guess the theme today is that we're all overlapping with bets and whatnot.
Jeez.
But we'll see later. Actually, there's no overlap now because we all change things around. But Juventus 3-2 win at Leipzig. 2 goals scored for Vlahovic and 2 goals scored with 10 men to win on the road. So, I haven't seen like super great progression in terms of their attack yet. I think it's kind of just they're trying to figure it out because, you sign Nico Gonzalez, you sign Coop Miners. The midfield's totally different now. So I think it's going to take them a little bit of time to kind of gel, very similar to some of these other big teams in Europe. But, that's an impressive win, especially when you consider the fact that they scored twice with 10 men. One sour note for them is Bremer is going to be out for the season. And, they have some good options in the back, but he's by far their best defender. So I'm interested to see how Thiago Motta copes without him. But Vlahovic is scoring. That's a huge plus. I think they're really deep, but I think you're going to have to see some new faces at center back, which is not ideal for a team that's trying to compete on at least 2 levels. Definitely, who knows in Serie A, but certainly in the Champions League, you want to make your mark. So I'm very impressed so far by Juventus.
I was trying to unmute, and my mouse kept double clicking. So I was eternally muted. I was so angry. You didn't see it in my face, though. But Jacob, you're up.
Atletico lost 4-0 to Benfica. Benfica is a pretty good team, especially for a Portuguese team, but 4-0? 3 goals in the second half? I don't know if Andrew's upset or he's...
I feel a lot worse because we drew with him.
Oh. I don't know why I didn't...
Freaking Benfica destroys them. Conor Gallagher looks normal.
Well, that's not hard.
You've not been watching Atletico this season. Conor Gallagher is he's prime Simeone.
Oh,
he's like prime Atletico player. I'm so angry about it. So angry.
Don't worry, he's not going to hurt.
He's been scoring goals.
How many goals does he have?
Oh, the 3?
Couple. You know who's been disappointing for them? Alvarez.
Yeah.
He's got 2 goals in 10 games. I mean, he was
Well,
supposed to be the.
But he wasn't that good. He wasn't that great. Like, this is what happens when someone is a secondary option.
I'm disappointed.
You should be disappointed, but this is the problem. Julian Alvarez reminds me of like a better version of João Felix. Body type, the way that they play, they're not that big and strong.
Thank God I did not drink my water.
You would think they would learn from that lesson. I guess they didn't. I don't know. I mean, Simeone hated João Felix within minutes of him wearing that uniform. So I don't really understand like why. I don't know. I like Julian Alvarez a lot, but I just don't. I hope he turns it around, for his sake. But I never thought he was worthy of being labeled as like a superstar. So again, I'm not that surprised. But as far as Atleti is concerned, I mean, you just can't get mauled like this to Benfica. You just can't. I mean, sums up. I mean, that's just a weird result to me. Yeah. Surprising. Definitely caught me off guard. I was very shocked to see that when I saw that result. I'm like, what? But again, this whole group phase, which I still don't really understand. I guess it's not that big of a deal if they lose one game, or someone enlighten me.
I think drop points is huge in this format, because you want to find your way into the top 8, especially for a team of that caliber. But I don't know. I don't know how I feel about them personally. It's gonna be tough for them to get in the top 8. I feel like you got to. I mean, realistically, you probably got to drop points in like maybe max 2 games.
Yeah.
Maybe 3 if you're like in that 7 to 8 range, especially when you're dropping 3 points. And I mean, I don't know what the rest of their schedule looks like. I'm pretty sure they had it relatively tough. They have PSG away in 2 games. Actually, it's not that bad. Leverkusen's at home. That's tough. Like they play Salzburg, Slovan Bratislava, Sparta Prague. But again, I mean, it kind of feels like a crapshoot in a lot of these games.
Those are all games that they should win, at least like the second. I mean,
but in this format, I think there's a lot more parity, at least in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, the thing with them is it's just like sometimes they wait to concede to wake up. So that's, I feel like their biggest issue is like once that happens, then they turn it on. But obviously it was too late.
That's not a good characteristic.
No, it's not. So, yeah.
All right. I guess, Ricardo, you're up.
All right, let's see. I was going to go with Juve also, but I'm going to change it. I'll go with Brest. I hope you weren't going to mention that, Andrew, but
no, I wasn't.
Okay, good. I mean, granted, their opponents have been pretty easy. I mean, Salzburg, I guess it's actually kind of tough, I guess, but to go and win 4-0 on the road against them, they now have 2 wins in 2 games, so 6 points. And also take into consideration they're 13th in Ligue 1, so
yeah,
this is really, I mean, great start for them. And I mean, they're just beating the teams that are in front of them right now. And rest of the schedule,
Leverkusen next.
Yeah, that's brutal. I mean, they have, Leverkusen, Sparta Praha. They could win that too. Barca, I mean, at least they've set themselves up to not get, knocked out in the group or in this format. So great start for them. But yeah, not really much more to say about them.
I have 2 things. First, what the hell, Real Madrid? What the hell? We'll talk about them later.
I was gonna say I didn't want to say it now.
We'll talk about them later. But Lille beating Real Madrid 1-0. Disgraceful. It's absolutely disgraceful. And you know who scored? That Canadian bastard, Jonathan David.
I had no idea what he was going to call him.
I didn't either.
Could have been a million different options.
That Canuck, Jonathan David. Even made it so much worse. Imagine if Alphonso Davies was on Real Madrid, he'd say, Don't make it, Jonathan. Don't make it. That's why we should have signed them. Anyways, we'll talk more about that match later on. The main shock for me, and it didn't come from a match. Ricardo sent this in the chat earlier in the week. It was an ESPN notification. In the headline, it said, Arsenal stuns PSG 2-0. Excuse me? Stuns?
Come on.
At home?
See, when I read that, I'm like, all right, did they win? Did they score like 2 goals in the last like 10 minutes? Or like, did they score in like stoppage?
No,
no,
it's a
I
totally
know.
normal match. It was like Kai Havertz scored in like the 20th minute, and then Saka scored like before half. It was like, what? At the Emirates? Are you kidding me? That surprised me. That ESPN, I mean, now they have Jimmy Pitaro going off on here's our what to watch feature. You know, we're trying to give you all the sports. We want to be your sports source, your number one source for sports, right? And they don't watch the sports that they're trying to advertise you to watch. Weird little coincidence there. Who's down? ESPN. Thank God none of us work for him right now. It's a tough scene. Yes, stun. What's the more right word for that? Let's see. Correct word would be rightfully beats PSG. A weakened PSG side in 2024-25. What a disgraceful byline. They should be ashamed of themselves. I'm ashamed of them. I thought they would be better, to be honest, to be quite frank. But it's just absolutely disgraceful. I can't believe it. And then it's not really a thing that surprised me, but I guess I was kind of surprised. My mom was watching Barca Young Boys because it was on Univision, and she was, because I wasn't home, she was like, Barca looks really good. She realized, she saw the vision of Barca. I'm like, oh, I cursed like Deadpool. Those are the things I'm mad about right now. It's like my mad dog. 3 things I'm mad about right now. And I'll be mad even later in the show. You'll see.
We got
wait till we get later. They really wanted to piss off Andrew this week. The soccer world. They really wanted to piss me off, and they did. They did well in pissing me off. Few things piss me off. We'll keep
I have an
going.
idea. I think I have an idea of what they are.
I should.
I thought somebody was going to say Villa beating Bayern.
We should touch on that.
We'll definitely touch on it. I mean, Bayern had the most impressive match day 1 performance in Villa, and my Colombian brother John Duran. Just an absolute golazo.
Price tag.
Now I get why. See, now I kind of wish my club spent the 40 million on it.
You were complaining. You were like, "Why are we going after an unproven striker?" And
he was unproven until now.
Look what he's doing for Villa. Look what he's doing.
Well, we're doing all right.
Yeah,
you're right.
You shouldn't be complaining. You got like 5 million players in your club. So
I know, it's great.
Some of them
awesome.
should. Yeah, some of them should turn out.
It might be awesome for you. It's not.
We have 2 teams that are better than United's best 11.
That's not hard to do right now.
He's not lying. Jacob's not lying. He's cooking. He's cooking here. All right. I want to say enough with the Champions League. because I don't want to talk about this, Ricardo.
Yeah.
I have a very burning question.
Okay,
Oh no.
shoot.
Where is the panic meter? with
Ooh.
this
Oh,
game?
it's an
Good
absolute.
question.
Right now, for me, it's an absolute 8.
8. Wow.
8.
Wow.
Actually,
I
that's
was-
low.
I was gonna say 10, but I'm not gonna over exaggerate because
I think
You know-
I think 8's already up that.
I don't know.
I could have said 10. Ricardo,
All right, well,
what's your panic meter at?
Before you go into it, Ricardo, what's yours?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's lower.
Yeah, it's not as high. I'll give it maybe a 6 max.
That you see, Ricardo's probably right about that.
You are lucky that Ter Stegen got hurt. I will say
What?
that.
That's
No, as far as-
insane
Well, that's an
thing to say.
interesting comment.
No, because as far as that weakens Barca, and then
It does, but
their
does,
chances of winning
but-
the league, and
All right, but okay. I don't want to get into the argument of how a keeper is going to change the whole complexion of the team, but they're going to get help. Whoa, I just I'm like,
He's so
now I'm going
mad.
to get mad.
we're all mad.
Now I'm going to get mad. Now,
Hey,
we're talking about Ter
rightfully so.
Stegen, not Robert Sanchez.
all right, I know he's a world-class keeper, but again, he's not the one scoring the goals. I know he's saving them, he's stopping them, whatever, fine. They still have a backup, and they just got Chesney. End of story.
Yeah, they're in a good spot there. All things considered, it could have been a lot worse.
Could have been Lewandowski.
Yeah, losing him is more important. But you guys talk about Real Madrid.
I'm gonna be honest. I'm glad, and I couldn't watch because I was at work and I was very busy on a very important project. But I could not watch Lille versus Real Madrid, and I'm so glad I couldn't watch. I texted Ricardo later and I said, I asked, should I even attempt to watch the highlights, and he said no. He just said no.
More
I
of the
said-
same.
I just thought, very well, I'm not. So I'm going to be honest. I did not watch a single second. Haven't seen a single clip from that match. All I know is that Lunin played pretty well overall,
He did. Yeah.
which was good to hear because Andre Lunin is my guy. So I was very happy about that. But Ricardo, I assume you watched the match?
Yeah, I had it on
Yep.
while I was remote. So yeah.
Oh, lucky you! Oh, you lucky bastard!
Am I
you were
though?
remote.
I don't feel
Oh.
very lucky watching that game.
I get. Oh yeah. Good point. No, you know what? Very good point. I digress. What were your main takeaways from the match?
I don't know. Actually didn't even look into this, but why Rodrigo didn't start? Maybe it was just to rest him, give him a little break. But Andrew started. He looked okay. I mean, still very much, a raw player. He did have a chance to score early on, and I mean, he didn't put it away. But that was really about their only chance they had, the only clear chance they had the whole game. It was even the first half, again, very dull. And of course, Real seemingly never scores in the first half. So it was just kind of back and forth, side to side. Not really much creativity in terms of chances. So it was just more of the same. And then the second half came along, and Lille, they just found their footing and they dominated. So that's really the truncated version of it. It was just, again, lackluster. More of the same of what we've been saying. And I know Mbappe was injured, and he did come in the second half. Rodrigo, I actually don't even remember if he came on, but if he did, he
I
did
don't think
nothing.
he didn't. I'm looking at the.
I was gonna say,
I was not aware he was an unused sub.
yeah, that was also really strange. Maybe he had a knock. I don't know.
He's been kinda in Carlo's bad side this season. Weirdly enough, like he's been kind of the odd man out.
Well,
Early on through the season, it's. Yeah.
He's been not getting very much love from just generally. I mean, he's always
strange. Yeah,
because he does. Because Vini and Mbappe, they get all the spotlight and stuff. So Rodrigo's kind of just there in the background, the shadow sort of thing. But yeah, it was strange he didn't play. He would have been useful. And all the subs just didn't work out either. So yeah, it was just, again, no creativity, just more of the same of what we've been saying. Slow starts, not very cohesive. Lacking in the front in the final third. So it's to the point where it's like I don't really know what to say anymore about it. Like I don't know what has to change, but maybe this international. I said this the first international break, like going into it, I was like, no, maybe we need this. And again, I'm saying it, and it's just repeating myself. It's getting kind of ridiculous. Like how much time? Listen, I love Carlo. I love this team, but how much time is it going to take for it to finally gel? Injuries haven't helped, sure, but still, that's not an excuse. Well, especially with how deep of a team this is.
That's kind of why I'm at an 8, because every single week we say they're eventually going to turn it around. We have faith, and they just haven't been. So when's it going to happen? And they're still getting injured. So Courtois suffered a muscle injury against Atleti, and the reports are saying he won't be back until later this month, probably toward the end of the month. So we'll see Lunin for the. I mean, thank God we have an international break in there, as you had mentioned. So that kind of helps us out, but we had that going for us. Also, I had bet Mbappe anytime goal scorer against Lille. Because I was like, he's going back to France. He just owns Liga. He's gonna maybe have a hat trick. Got it at I want to say plus 150, which honestly is pretty good for an Mbappe anytime goal scorer odd.
He looked bad.
He was, I assume, pretty bad.
Yeah,
based on his Jacob's favorite 6.0 foot mob score. Seems pretty bad to me. But yeah, I'm glad I didn't watch that match. It's a clean slate. it's do we want to say that? It's a clean slate moving on to Villarreal. Which
I don't know.
That match kind of scares me too.
Yeah.
Strangely enough. I don't feel good. I haven't felt good about Madrid since they won the. Well, let's be real. They won the Super Cup. I was still feeling. I felt that high. Mbappe scored his first goal at the Super Cup. Yeah. We were so excited. We're like, okay, we're back, and ever since it's been very rocky.
Very flat.
Very flat. That's the best way to describe it. Very flat, because I mean, really, that was their first loss of the season, and we're acting like they're like this, like we're acting like they're a bottom feeder right now, and like that's just the standard we hold Real Madrid to,
Yeah.
So it says a lot about the club and how successful they are when we're acting like they're Valencia right now. And in reality, they're just not living up to their potential.
Yeah.
So they had that draw against Atleti, which we haven't had an episode since that match. That was another one where I was working, but I did watch highlights for that match. We should have won. I mean, what the hell? And I was talking about disgrace. I mean, they're down a man. They're down a man.
Well, that was later on too.
But... I know, but you gotta hold.
They have your number.
Gotta hold on.
I hate them. I hate playing them there.
They had it last year, even though you almost seemed invincible for much of the season. They didn't beat you, but moral victory and somewhat of a moral loss for Real Madrid not pulling out that game.
Yeah, those fans were awful, though. I will say that
that was some top-notch refereeing in that match. To stop that match when those terrible, disgraceful Atleti fans were going off in the stands. It was a great stoppage. I was very happy about that. Because in La Liga, I mean, we've talked about this in the past. They don't really handle these things that well. So,
Pretty high tolerance for despicable behavior.
Yeah, so the fact that they actually stopped this match for a little bit does say something. But we take the 1-1, I guess, at this point. I mean,
I don't take it because we literally had it.
I know we should have won, but we did say we did say before the match, it was going to be ugly, and we did say it was probably going to be a draw.
But you know what I always say? Circumstances change everything. You may think that something's good before the game if you're like, oh, I'll take a draw. But if you're up 1-0,
no, yeah,
plus,
that's true.
Not exactly.
Yeah, no, you're right. Yeah,
that's a very good point.
I think you guys are also in a position where you don't want to continue to drop points each week because it's going to wind up. You can't. At some point, it's going to be too much of a ground to make up.
I mean,
and Barca had lost also, so
right. So you want to capitalize anytime they drop points.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the way I look at it from a neutral point of view.
Yeah.
But what really scares me is the Champions League table. I hate.
You guys think they get top 8 or no?
They're not getting top 8. Hell no.
Wow, you have no faith in them. I think they can still do it.
At this point.
Do you guys want to go through the rest of the schedule?
Yes, I'll go through the rest of their Champions League schedule
pull it
right now. No, I have it right here. They got Dortmund, Milan, Liverpool, Atalanta, Salzburg, and Brest.
But no, you didn't say it right.
Salzburg.
I mean, you probably got to get
tough.
6 games left, so you probably want to take. You probably got to take
if we're losing to Lille. I mean,
to get in the top 8, you probably would have to get another 13 to 15 points.
Yeah,
that sounds right. Maybe more.
6, 9, 12.
It's hard for us to kind of determine what
they can.
I don't know.
So if that math that Christian just presented, they can only drop one more match.
Yeah.
Rest of the way through.
15 that get you to 18 points. That probably would do it. But you got to remain perfect. You have to win 5 of 6.
Yeah. Which
I think it's doable.
No, it's definitely doable. It's definitely, come on now. It's definitely doable. But do I have faith right now? No. That's the thing. That's the thing. It's if this were me,
I'll be the optimistic one.
Thank you. If this were me 4 months ago, I would have said, "Oh, easy. We'll win 5 of 6. That's fine."
All right, fine.
Easy. Fine. But I'm overreaction Andrew right now, okay? I'm stressing out here.
I'm trying to be in the middle, kind of it's neither, too high, too low sort of thing.
And I thought choosing 8 was selling myself short. I almost picked 10. Trust me. I was really close.
Jeez. Okay.
But I'm not that guy, pal. I assume that's enough of Real Madrid. I don't want to talk about them anymore. Oh, God. We're going to have to talk about Brighton later. Yeah, this is going to be a nasty show. But let's
be a lot of fun.
Let's give myself a break. I'll let Christian take the mic because Liverpool, good.
Yeah, I mean they've lost 1 match all season, so
yeah.
I don't know how much time I can give Andrew off though before he's got to go back to Brighton because there's
okay. Really it's any time, okay. Even if you give me 3 minutes, that's fine. I need
so I mean, for me, not much has changed from last week when we talked Liverpool. I mean, they're cruising along, but what I will say is they really haven't had too many big tests yet. Now that's going to change, in this next stretch. Tomorrow, Crystal Palace away, not an easy match, contrary to what, some may believe. It was tough last year. I think it's going to be tough again. Then it's Chelsea at home, Leipzig away, Arsenal away, Brighton away, Brighton at home,
No.
Leverkusen at home, Aston Villa at home. So, and that's across 3 different competitions. So, if Liverpool's, a title contender, or you think they're potentially dark horse in the Champions League, this is where you're going to find out. So, I think I'm fascinated to see how this team looks against these bigger opponents. Because again, Crystal Palace not in great form. I mean, obviously, Jacob's going to talk about Chelsea in a little bit. Chelsea in great form. Leipzig's never easy. Arsenal's obviously a title contender. Brighton knocked us out of a cup a couple years ago. I think it was 2 years ago. So we'll see how that goes. It's also
you'll be fine.
It's also pretty interesting to play Brighton on a Wednesday and then play them again on a Saturday in a totally different competition. So we'll see how that goes.
It's the Brighton way to put up that stinker against Chelsea and then somehow win like 2-1 against Liverpool. I'm just gonna say that's the Brighton way.
Can we flip it around? Can you beat Chelsea and give us a good result? And then obviously playing Leverkusen in that marquee matchup. I mean, Xabi Alonso going back to Anfield's going to be crazy. And then Aston Villa again.
The job he should have taken, but
I'm pretty content with how things are going right now. So.
No, I know. That's not the point. The point is that, you could have Bayern, you could have Liverpool. And
True. We'll see where he ends up in a couple years. It's still an unknown, but yeah, I mean, it's hard to not be pleased with the way things are going. I mean, the only loss was against Forest. That was not a good match. But besides that, I mean, a win at Milan in the Champions League to kick things off. Obviously, United away is never easy, but I mean, they made it look easy. So yeah, it's hard to grade Liverpool's start at anything other than like an A- or a B+. I mean, they're at the top of the league 6 games in. It's early, and I don't want to jump to conclusions on anything, but I mean, they've been close to as good as they could possibly have been. So I have not really too many complaints. What I will say is, who's going to continue to be the number 9, like consistently? Darwin's started more matches recently. I think Jota's, again, got a higher floor, but a lower ceiling.
Definitely.
Just balancing those two things is going to be interesting, but everything else right now, I think, is pretty smooth sailing.
All right, very well. Before we move on to Chelsea-Brighton, I just want to say, because I know we're not going to talk about this at any point of the show, so I just want to feel good. I want to prop myself up a little bit. People call me a madman for saying Wolves are going to get relegated. Let Andrew cook. Chelsea-Brighton.
You start.
All right. First off, when Jorginho Ruder scored, I texted my Leeds friend right away. I said, "Oh, but he can't score goals, huh?"
You're welcome.
Oh,
you should have been thanking
Robert Sanchez was prime Robert Sanchez. This is prime Robert Sanchez today. It pisses me off even more.
Pisses you off?
Yes, because they should have had 4 goals. They should have had 4 goals against Robert Sanchez. But they're so feeble. They're feeble.
He gave you 2.
He did give us 2 freebies.
2!
But this is one of the worst goalkeeping performances I've seen in a while. I mean, if you want a fun low light, tape to watch Robert Sanchez's low lights against Brighton.
Hold on. If we're talking about bad goalkeeping performances, you better mention Bart Verbruggen's name.
Hey, Bart was bad. And I love Bart.
Bad? I mean...
Jason Steele would have given up 6 goals, but it's okay.
I wish he was playing.
Yeah, thank God. I love Bart, but that was a bad Bart game.
Horrendous.
That was horrendous. I mean, Cole Palmer, within a span of 20 minutes, scores 4 goals. And that's an indictment. One was I want to blame the back line a lot. And they deserve a lot of the blame. before the show, Jacob goes, "I never thought they were that bad." I'm like, "Are you kidding me?"
I didn't know he thought he was Ange playing it with 9 men. That's how their defense played.
Adam Webster. Don't get me started.
What a tremendous back line.
Lewis Dunk.
More like Lewis Stunk.
Lewis Stinky. They call him Dunky. He should be Stinky. I mean, God.
He's part of the England setup. He deserves respect.
No, he doesn't.
The quote Darth Vader, "I will not tolerate your failure any longer." I am so out on Lewis Dunk. And I've been out for years on Lewis Dunk. He is one of the most fraudulent captains in the Premier League. But he's homegrown, whatever. I don't care. He sucks. He's awful. Oh, he's got size. He's got size. He's a strong chap. I don't care. I do not care. He is nothing. He has nothing to him. He just will mindlessly flop and foul anyone in sight. I swear that back line gives up one penalty every other week. I swear to God, they piss me off so much. Oh God.
I think we need to know what his panic meter's at for Brighton.
I'm honestly, it's about what I expected for Brighton this season. So I mean,
you did say like what, 12th?
I said 11th for Brighton,
11th.
and they're in 9th right now. So I mean, honestly, it's about what I thought. So I and against Chelsea, at Stamford Bridge, like I knew this. I kind of had a feeling this would happen. So it was, no big deal this time. However, it pisses me off that this guy named Enzo Maresca, this guy who just puckers his lips
and he tactically destroys your back line.
Andrew preseason had this called before anyone.
I did. Let me cook. I said Chelsea 4th. Look where they are right now. Thank me later. Right, Jacob?
If they finish 4th, I'll thank you later.
Well, Enzo Maresca. I did say he was going to be manager of the year too. I believe that was also my preseason pick.
I think you did say that.
But I digress. How many times am I going to say I digress this episode? I digress. We move on.
Is it my turn?
No, not yet. We move on. Brighton moves on. We're going to beat those fraud Spurs on Sunday because we have to beat them at least once every year. We got to beat them once a year.
Please.
We're at home at the end.
I hope you do.
We'll beat Spurs. Don't worry.
Did you see they clipped another one of Ange's press conference clips and he was like, "Yeah, Hessler came in the training ground. He asked me a million questions. I couldn't believe it."
The match is ending 5-3, by the way. I'll guarantee you that. I mean, and then, God, we move on. We're past Chelsea. We'll get another shot. And that's when February 15th cannot come any sooner at the Amex.
Oh, really? I wish it was tomorrow.
I wish it was tomorrow too.
I love when we get to play Brighton. So much fun. A lot of fun. It's fun. Beat you twice last year. Beat you this year. Took you out in the Carabao Cup in 2 seconds.
Oh yeah, I mean Carabao Cup.
Hey, it's his favorite competition.
You take that trophy.
I mean, we beat Wolves in the Carabao Cup.
I would hope that Brighton would take that trophy.
All right, but anyway, this match was, God, how do I describe it? when Robert Sanchez stormed out of the goal to get a ball that was not his, I went, oh, I guess the honeymoon's over. Those 2 shutouts in a row. He's reverting back to the mean. But then Cole Palmer said, no, I got this, mate. You know what the funniest part was that I was like semi-worried because Cole Palmer only had like 2 goals. I was actually like just a smidge worried. And then he said, hold my beer. And absolutely.
Is he old enough?
Nice.
In England he is. I know, but
he absolutely destroyed that weak, pathetic Fabian Hürsler.
Oh, it's no. Hertzler.
Fabian Hertzler, because it hurt a lot having to watch that Brighton back line.
That's disgraceful. No,
I mean,
it's not Fabian's fault.
Excuse me. Who put that system in place?
That they don't have anyone else. Their back line is the weakest part of that squad. He's
No,
literally
it's
working
weak,
with.
but the way that he had them playing was absurd. The way that they were set up.
He's working with scrap heaps.
But don't set them up to fail.
But unfortunately, that's the only way Brighton could play. You know, they have quality attacking options. They have quality attacking options. Don't forget, also, no João Pedro this match. You were very lucky.
Ooh.
You were very, very lucky.
Ooh.
Like I'm scared.
You should be scared of my guy, João Pedro.
Well,
I mean, look at all these injuries for Brighton. I mean, my guy, Jean-Paul Van Hecke, who is like the only somewhat reliable person on the back line.
All healthy.
He was hurt
February 15th.
Oh yeah.
I want all of them healthy, and I still want my team to still think.
I mean, my guy Simone Adingra was out. Adam Veltman was out. I mean, Christian and I's guy James Milner somehow missed a match. I mean, it was rough. It was rough. Still without Sully March. You know, it's not good right now. A lot of people are out. Matt O'Reilly because of those frauds. Crawley.
Another piece of language was coming out.
Those frauds, Crawley.
But I would just like to say that Chelsea, and it's early, but they've come a long way from that performance week 1 against Manchester City. I was.
Give me a break.
No. Don't you? No, you are not gonna rain on my parade. Do you know how many bad watches I had to watch last year? Do you know how much turbulence and BS I've had to deal with of my club that was once great and then had to fall down the stairs? Down, remember the Dark Knight Rises when he goes down that hole? That was my team.
You only lost 2-0 against City.
Andrew, that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the fact that they were 12th 2 years ago. They didn't make the Champions League again last year. They didn't even make the Europa League because of this stupid thing that I don't even know, because somehow 8th place Man United. They wish they were in the Conference League. Because if they were, they would actually have something to win. But that's beside the point. This Chelsea team kind of has me believing again.
They should.
I mean, this system, the attack, we got 4 guys just stampede like a bunch of horses running down the line every week. Nicholas Jackson, Noni Madueke, Cole Palmer, and Jadon Sancho, who we freed. So far, I've been very wrong, and could not be happier to be.
I mean, he was good in Dortmund when he went back to Dortmund.
But we freed him from the gulag that is Manchester United. All you had to do with Jadon Sancho is just pat him on the back, and that's you get anything out of him. Just give him that lovey-dovey crap, and that's how he responds and plays well. And the best part, and now I see why they want 50 players. Because we can go play in the Conference League, completely turn the team over, and still destroy a team. Again, a team that I've never heard of, that I think is in Belgium, but nonetheless, we're the same thing. I mean, this is the thing that what I like the most about Maresca is they actually have an identity. We're gonna run you we're gonna run your team into the ground, how fast we are, and we're gonna put chances away. And you're not gonna be able to keep up. Now, could they defend better? That'd be nice. Could Wesley Fofana stop making having 3 brain farts a game, and Robert Sanchez just don't do anything stupid, please?
That's a big ask.
I know it is. But I can dream, can I? And I'm just, this team has made me happy, which I haven't said I said like last year, like late in the year.
Yeah.
But late last year.
Took
a while. All right. I'm really happy with where they are. It's still early. They have a lot to prove. Getting at least a draw against Liverpool would be a very nice passing of a test. Winning at Anfield now, that would be something else.
Yeah, I'll be taking the pod a week off then.
Oh, Christian's not going to listen to me for a week if the Chelsea come in and beat Liverpool at Anfield.
A week. It might be doomsday for me until Stamford Bridge, the rematch.
If they win, I'd be doing the swag surfing like Kirk Cousins last night.
Okay.
I had Tampa Bay +1.5.
That's what I would be doing.
So do I.
And I guess if I had any gripes, I would just be this. Romeo Lavia should be playing in the Conference League if he's not starting in the Premier League. I don't want to watch Cesare Casadei start in the damn Conference League. I want to unleash my guy, Romeo Lavia, who's better than that fraud Enzio Fernandez.
How many total minutes has Romeo Lavia played?
Probably under 100, but
Jeez.
but those 66 minutes against Manchester City, you remember how great those 66 minutes were? He was the best player on the field. He was so good. I almost started crying. I'm telling you, if this guy can stay healthy, he is a diamond in the rough. And please don't make me. If they could just not have Enzo Fernandez play, this team would skyrocket. Oh my God. He's so good. He doesn't do anything. He makes 3 good passes every 4 weeks. That's what Enzo Fernandez does.
I love that this kind of turned into a rant from Jacob. Like he still somehow found a way to shift it into a negative rant.
But overall, I am happy. I just don't know how to handle it because I'm so used to them disappointing me.
Yeah, I get it.
I haven't been, it's been a while since I've been used to Chelsea being like good and taking care of business against crappy teams. The little things like that is what I'm happy about. Nkuku barely plays in the Premier League. Doesn't matter. We just stick him in the Carabao Cup, stick him in the the Conference League, and he just scores 3 goals a game. It's awesome. He gets to blow the balloon bubble, whatever the hell that is. But I really like this Chelsea team. Like I'm starting to see the vision, the plan, the master plan that I thought was the worst plan ever might actually be working. Now they have to beat good teams. If they beat Liverpool or they can beat an Arsenal, I mean, they have to beat Tottenham. If they don't beat Tottenham, I will flip so hard against it. Back to the mean. Because they cannot lose to Ange Postecoglou, home or away.
Big Ange.
Those are 2 must-win games on the calendar. And I would like if they can embarrass Tottenham. I really have tears of joy. But overall, I'm happy with this team. Like I genuinely am. I like watching them play. They don't make me sad anymore. I get excited to watch Chelsea play every week. Nicholas Jackson is getting better. And
6 goals against Spurs next time around.
listen,
All
you
up
can
in the
bring
last 15 minutes?
listen, you can bring that up as many times as you want. He's
No, I'm just
still-
saying it was a hat trick last time in the last 10 minutes. Since he's so much better, is he going to score 6 now against Spurs?
If they go to 9 men, he will. But I just really like where this team is at, and it's exciting. It's exciting to be a Chelsea fan again. It feels good, which I haven't been able to say in a while. And again, the mandate is to win the Conference League. The mandate is to get to at least the final 8 of the FA Cup and the Carabao Cup. They need to. I want a trophy this year. That's what that if they get a trophy and top 5, I will be happy.
I have a new nickname for Enzo Maresca. He's just the Rizzler. He's the Rizzler. That's what he is. He's a Costco guy. We're Costco guys. Of course, the UEFA Europa Conference League. Oh God, is he not the Rizzler, Jacob?
Listen, I don't give a damn what you want to call him. All I know is that he's doing a good job.
Does he bring the boom?
Well, the attack brings the boom, and that's what I love.
Okay.
They brought the boom to Brighton. They brought the boom
Cole
to West
Palmer
Ham.
brought the boom.
Cole Palmer. And did you hear what the New England manager said about Cole Palmer? That he wants to play him at left back. Did you see that free kick Lee card sleeve? Can a left back do that?
That's crazy.
That's amazing.
Better than Bukayo Saka. He's one of the 5 best players in the Premier League right now.
Yeah.
And he's a blue, baby. He's a blue. And he's not going anywhere.
3 years later.
Nope. You will stay away from Cole Palmer. No. You've stolen enough of my team's players.
It's okay. Okay, we'll steal Trent, but
yeah,
No.
we'll steal Trent
steal
for no reason at all. We'll steal Trent.
Nope. Okay.
Steal Van Dijk.
No.
When Courtois, when his muscle doesn't recover, you just steal Allison. That
No.
would be better.
We have Andre Gooden. There's no need.
Verbruggen's next. Don't worry.
Verbruggen.
Oh, you want Verbruggen after that one.
One game.
Verbruggen's good. I don't know. You've admitted not watching Brighton before, so it's you don't get. You don't understand.
I was not impressed.
You don't understand Bart Verbruggen like I do.
I'm sure of that.
I'm a Bart guy. Always have, always will. And he's young. He's got a lot of potential. Unlike Lewis Dunk. All right. Thank God we got past that. But now I'm really angry. Don't know if you guys saw the news. I know you definitely saw the news. Paul Pogba's doping ban got reduced to 18 months after an appeal to the Court of Arbitration for Sport, who I love, by the way. This is like, when I think of the Court of Arbitration for Sport, I imagine them having like a facility in Prague, and like I just imagine like a high council. I don't know, like Harry Potter-esque, kind of like a weird little, elitist group. But anyways, he was initially given. We talked about this on the podcast too. This was one of our first episodes, believe it or not. We talked about his 4-year ban that he initially received, which is outrageous at the time. Supposedly, it's company policy to give 4-year bans for his level of doping. But it was discovered He didn't know he was doping. He didn't know this product he was using had DHEA, which is a banned substance that raises testosterone levels. He didn't know. He didn't know about this. He was like Fernando Tatis Jr. Nando. He didn't know. He didn't know. It was in. Remember Tatis? It was in his hair product or whatever. That was like the excuse Tatis Senior said when he got suspended. It was like, oh, it was in his hair product. It was like, what? Anyways, got reduced to 18 months. He began training again with Juve in January, and his ban will be lifted in March of 2025. All right. Why are we just giving out 4-year bans like this? This happens, I swear, something to this nature, this type of controversy happens every year in soccer. I mean, I mentioned the Sandro Tonali betting scandal with his other Italian teammate. I forgot who it was. Suspended for a year. He's back. He's back now. Newcastle. But even that was reduced. It was almost like they were saying that he was gonna get a lifetime ban with Tonali initially. They're like, oh, Italy's thinking about giving Sandro Tonali a lifetime ban for his betting scandal. Why do we need to over dramatize things? Playing sports here. It's not soap opera. The NBA is a soap opera, but that doesn't count. That doesn't count. Why are we just giving out Pete Rose bans? RIP. Why are we giving out Pete Rose bans to players when you're just going to lift them anyways within a year? Come on. Come on, guys. Be real. That kind of grinded my gears. I did read this. 4-year bans are standard under the World Anti-Doping Code, but can be reduced in cases where an athlete can prove their doping was not intentional. If the positive test was a result of contamination, or if they provide substantial assistance to help investigators, then it can be reduced. He literally released documents right away talking about how he was like kind of proving his point that he unknowingly was given these products. Why is it taken over a year just for them to be like, oh, he was right? To me, that makes no sense.
Stupid. It is a soap opera. It's ridiculous that they want to it's like Paul Pogba's been through enough.
Yep.
Like, come on.
God.
It's like they're trying to embarrass him.
And like, imagine him trying to maintain his fitness for over a year on his own too. Like, I mean, I'm sure Paul Pogba can afford it. Like he's received a lot of money in his playing career. So he sure could afford it. However, he didn't deserve to be suspended for that long anyways in the first place.
If you get suspended for 4 years, there better be a dead body on the other side. Because
essentially, we said it at the time. Essentially, we thought his playing career was over. We thought and he couldn't control it, which is the worst part. Thank goodness he got lifted. Seems like Juve does plan to bring him back into the fold. So good on Juve's part there.
If Paul Pogba can get back to being half decent, I will be so happy.
I'll be very happy too. I'm rooting for Paul Pogba.
Oh, I am too. I used to love.
I'm absolutely rooting for Paul Pogba. I mean, he was massive in that 2018 World Cup final too. I mean, he's been a very good player. I mean, surely you could say his Man United tenure was a little iffy.
People don't understand, like the good Paul Pogba Man U games were sensational.
Good Paul Pogba is a lot more than good. We'll say that. I'll say that. So I'm just angry at the sport in general. about trying to make everything a soap opera. To me, it's very European. I don't want to sound like it's, a culture war, but it kind of like if this happened in America, and we had a direct example, Fernando Tatis Jr. In the first place, they just suspended him for the rest of the season while they were conducting their investigation. They said, we'll just suspend you the rest of the season. They found out in the reports that he unknowingly took these products. He unknowingly, he didn't know there was PEDs in these products. And they discovered that. They're like, okay, it's fine. You'll be reinstated next season. But they just gave him a half-season suspension. They wouldn't give him a 4-year suspension right off the bat and then, lower it. To me, that's a disgrace. I wonder, as our sports, as American sports become more globalized and they see how we handle situations, I do think we handle these PED situations and these weird, we're talking about betting scandals. I think we do handle these better than overseas. As everything becomes a little more globalized, I hope they can take what we do, because I do think we don't do a lot of things better, but I do think we handle those situations better. So I wonder if that's going to be a shifting culture shock. But I'm kind of running in circles now. So if anyone wants to jump in, feel free. But that's all I
think you hit it right on the head. In every
Yeah.
facet, as far as how stupid these suspensions are, how they get them wrong, how it's pretty. I mean, I look, I understand punishing people for taking illegal substances, but
it's irrational. This is a rational punishment.
Years.
Yep.
Like 4 years.
When he's
Someone's
31.
life better have been in danger. Again, someone's life better have been on the line if you are suspending someone for 4 years. That's how long it takes to get from one World Cup to another. I mean, come on, man. I mean, outrageous.
Absolutely. All right. Last main topic of the day. We just got our first USMNT roster under Mauricio Pochettino. I mentioned this before the show. People were laughing. They interviewed Poch again. It seems like Poch does an interview every other day with US media. But there was an interview the other day where a member of the media asked if he had spoken to any of our players yet. And, keep in mind it's the beginning of October. And he goes, no, I have not seen any player.
I do not speak with the player.
But I ran into Anthony Robinson in a restaurant in London.
It's very good.
We shared laugh. It was like, okay, I get it. You have press conferences every other day. You're a busy man. Maybe reach out to the players who are in Europe, while you're in Europe. Maybe that was somewhat the point of hiring you. I mean, I get it. You're getting acclimated. I'm not going to be too harsh on this.
This guy's got a busy schedule, answering questions from Gary Neville.
Yeah. That was a fun interview. God. Gary Neville in Raj. he's got to get his
Hey, how are you, my friend?
Raj has, to give him a 5-minute intro and then
Mauricio Pochettino, a man like a gladiator in football. No, sorry, that's enough.
Like Gladiator 2 football.
I hope he's as good as Gladiator 1. Then I'll be pretty happy.
Yeah. Yeah. Is Mauricio Pochettino a Maximus?
You better hope so.
I better hope so. We better hope
But
so.
my thing with this selection is that there's not a lot of surprises. And one of the things that we've talked about, and I think I've said, is that it's on the player. It's like part of this, the onus is on the players to get better.
Mm-hmm.
And part of it's on him to try and make them better. But like, if we want to achieve something greater, the players have to be better. They have to take their games up a level, specifically the stars. Christian Pulisic, Weston McKennie, Gio Reyna. I don't know about him, but various other people.
He's out.
There, plenty of guys that like just have to go up another level if they want to actually go farther than we have been in years past. We can't just expect the coach to just like woo, like we have a different leader and now we're just gonna win. They have to take the onus.
Mm-hmm.
They have to step up. They have to grow up.
A few names that stand out for me. Then I'll let Christian, Ricardo get some thoughts in. Aiden Morris, who had impressed, was one of the few lone bright spots in his last outings for the U.S. Of course, now playing in the championship after being with the Columbus Crew for a long time. Still very young. He showed some promise, as I said, in the last international window. Kind of cool. I like the fact that he's being called back up. Person that needs the biggest sleep on the national team, though, in my opinion, is Malik Tillman. He keeps putting on, albeit in the Eredivisie, very good performances for PSV. Kind of struggles in the Champions League, which worries me. But now that Gio Reyna is on a long, injury stretch again, unfortunately, we need a 10 who will step up to the plate and fill in Gio's spot. And Malik Tillman is our second best 10. He needs to step up. He disappears for the national team, and I don't get it. He has shown promise in Europe. I don't get. So Greg kind of was ruining it by playing him as a winger. To me, you can only play Malik Tillman in the midfield. I don't like him as a winger. It was the same thing with Gio Reyna. So I hope Malik Tillman takes a step up. And I also like the fact that Zach Steffen is on this roster. The goalkeeper position should not be Matt Turner's to keep forever. Let other people who we haven't seen as much in a while step in and see how they do, especially in these friendlies. I mean, say what you want about Zach Steffen. He should have been on that World Cup roster. And he was back in MLS this season, but might as well give him another shot. But Christian, Ricardo.
Yeah, I think Steffen to me is the biggest surprise. I don't know if it is and it isn't a surprise. When you look at the other keepers, they're not playing, right? Right? Matt Turner, definitely not. Schulte's obviously playing, but I think he's a little more unproven at this level. Horvath has bounced around in the championship, but Steffen's had a solid season with the Colorado Rapids. And again, it's Major League Soccer, so we need to take it with a grain of salt. But this was a guy that was in Europe for a reason before the city move. So I hope, and I don't know if I expect, but I really, really hope he does get at least one start in this window, because if he makes a good impression under the new manager, that might be enough for him right out of the gate to be the number one. And it's not like Matt Turner deserves it at this point. He hasn't really played his best with us anyway. So I hope that opportunity presents itself. The other name I wanted to mention, it's not really a name. It's more just a position. No Chris Richards because of an injury. Mm-hmm. So who is that second center back in this window? I think Mark McKenzie deserves a chance here. I wouldn't complain if Austin Trusty got a start as well. I know he just made a move. And McKenzie's also at, I think it's Toulouse in France.
Yep.
He's been in camp. He's been in camp every single window, but has never really played. I would like to see him get an opportunity next to a Tim Ream. I think that would make a lot of sense. But yeah, I think those are the two surprise points for me. I'm really fascinated to see the goalkeeper situation in this window.
You know, in terms of a second center back, I'm not the biggest Miles Robinson hater in the world either. I think he gets standing there just fine, especially in these friendly situations. Ricardo, what you think?
Yeah, not really surprising. I'm just curious, to see if it's gonna be, 4-2-3-1, like how he usually plays, he sets up his teams. And just I guess when these injured players are healthy, what happens then. But I guess that's a discussion for, another time. But overall, yeah, like you guys have all covered it pretty well. I'm not really shocked by any of these selections, given the circumstances as well. So it'll definitely be interesting. Tough tests. Like what? Panama and then Mexico, right? In these two games. So
I believe it's in the Azteca as well.
yeah. So
Yep.
that's gonna be. I mean, so talk about real tests. That's up there. I mean,
Yep.
rowdy environment, tough environment to play in. So you know the whole deal. So that's yeah. It'll be fascinating to see how we what the starting 11 will be.
Yeah, and I shout out to Gianluca Busio as well, who, is now playing in Serie A with the Venezia promotion, and he's average, but an average midfielder in Serie A, we'll take that on the national team right now.
Another interesting thing with him too is he's playing further forward for them.
Yes.
He's playing kind of as a 10 almost in he's playing in a double 10 formation almost. It's hard for him to really shine in that team again because they're probably going to get relegated, and if they don't, they're going to finish a spot or two above. But yeah, I mean, he made 3 appearances in World Cup qualifying. Had a start, I believe, was at Jamaica. So again, I'm cool with seeing new faces or guys that we haven't seen in a while. Because I mean, it's been stale, for a while now. So I think seeing some fresh faces and seeing some guys who have some energy and desire to show off for a new manager, I'm all for it. We need some freshness to this squad.
Yeah, and he was also one of our better players in the last Gold Cup as well, when that was kind of a very mediocre U.S. side.
Yep.
He was one of the few bright spots. So good for him. I'm happy for Gianluca Busio. I hope we see more Josh Sargent. Just a little more Josh Sargent.
Gotta stay fit, man.
He's got to stay fit, but I'd love to see him at the 9. All right. For our final segment, so Jacob had to leave, so we'll give his best bet first. We're gonna go through all of our bets. Jacob has a fun one. West Ham and Ipswich to draw at plus 280. He really didn't like any of these matches, so he's only putting $5 down. I know he's a gambling man. $5 to win 14 for Jacob. We'll see if West Ham and Ipswich draw. I think that's a sneaky good pick.
Yeah.
West Ham's been very disappointing.
West Ham's been garbage.
Yeah.
They're at home, but Ipswich has also shown they can compete as well. They're not, any slouch. They have 4 draws. So
a good result against Villa last weekend.
Yeah.
Yep.
Very impressive.
So, very impressive side. I guess I'll go first. So we all have 3-leg money line parlays. So this is gonna be a fun weekend.
Fun weekend of stress.
So I have Villa money line. And then I have Bayern money line, as well as PSG money line. Now Villa plays. I'm just pulling up everyone. Villa plays Man U this upcoming weekend. But they're at home, and then Bayern is up against Frankfurt, while PSG is up against Nice. So it's it's gonna be a pretty competitive weekend. Those are all, not really slouches there.
Yeah.
So if you get them at plus 409, I'm putting down 15. Hopefully 161.46. I say hopefully because I've had a very bad year so far with bets. I don't think I've won. It's been really bad.
Well,
Really,
no
really
better
bad.
time to start now.
But I do like this one. You know what? I'm gonna say it. This can't lose. This is my can't lose parlay. It's been a year since, it's been since last season. I haven't said any of my prior bets for can't lose this season. So I'm gonna say this one's a can't lose. Maybe that'll turn things around. All right, Christian, you're up.
All right, so I'm taking Barcelona to win away at Alaves. Last weekend they rotated. It really came back to bite them. Osasuna scored 4 goals against them. So I would assume that Hansi Flick is not going to rotate as heavily as he did last weekend. Burnley's playing Preston at home. Burnley, one of the better teams in the championship. The championship can get a little wild, but I back Burnley to figure it out and win at home. And then Newcastle is away at Everton. Everybody knows what I think of Everton. I hope they get relegated. Sorry, not sorry. And Newcastle, a team that should be having aspirations to finish in the top 4, played relatively well against a City team without Rodri last weekend. I think they'll be fresh and I think they'll be ready to go. I like I like Newcastle to win at Goodison Park against Everton.
Dwight McNeil's going off.
Probably.
All right. All right, Ricardo.
All right, so I picked Christian's team, Liverpool, going to Palace. Have Palace won a game yet?
No.
No, yeah.
Nope.
It's just the one draw, right?
Maybe I shouldn't have
I
said
think
that.
I think they got 3 draws. It's been really uninspiring so far. I hope that continues tomorrow.
Very disappointing. Yeah, I hope so too for the sake of this bet. I have Jacob's team, Chelsea, hosting Forest. That should be like a 4-2 game, probably. Dortmund going to Union Berlin on the road. Again, another game I think. I mean, this could be a trap game, but it's another one where I think it could be high scoring. But yeah, those 3 legs. What is it? Plus 366, 54 or $15 to win 54. 93. I'm feeling all right about it.
For a second, I thought you were going to say, I'm putting down $54.
That would have been
dramatic. That would have changed things up just a little bit. But, all right. I believe that's enough for this week. We've kind of blabbered on with a lot of things. We had a lot of topics. It's been a while since we did a pod. So, of course, until the next episode, you can subscribe to us on our YouTube channel. Follow us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts. If you have any suggestions for topic ideas, any questions for us, feel free to leave them in the comments of not just our YouTube or Spotify channels, but also on Twitter or X, whatever you want to call it. Christian handles that page and does a masterful job.
Yes.
As our social guy there. We're thinking about starting up an Instagram or a TikTok. Jacob's been floating that out. We'll see how that goes, but we'll be sure to update you guys if anything comes about. So, boys, audience, until the next episode, peace out.